Welcome back, everyone. I know we haven't recorded in a little bit. As you guys just saw, Forester made some serious power. This thing worked out. I know a lot of you wanted to see a street hitting this thing, and that time will come. You're probably looking at the thing right now going, what the hell is going on? I let the part out master near it. She's getting parted out. We done. We made the power. We're done. Parted out. Who wants parts? Nah. Okay, so he went and got some STI spares for now to sit this thing on. I hope this thing doesn't hate me too much because of this, but I took the yeah, I can't even speak this morning. I took the STI wheels off, the BBSs, to go get refinished in gold. I think that's going to look better for the car than what was on them. We got some new tires as well, which I'll show you guys. As you guys saw, we just had the front end repainted on this thing. We do need minor things that we ordered, which is like a clip for the grill here. You can see it's loose on the bottom. This one needs a clip because it was missing one before. Damn, they had them in stock?
In stock, baby.
Wow. So Justin went and got those this morning. New fender liners for this thing because this one is broken over here. As you can see the crack. So new front fender liners for the front. Now today, we're going to be getting some things pulled off because the paint work continues on this thing. As a lot of you know, when we first got this thing, it had higher miles. I mean, this thing had around 230K miles on it. So with that comes wear and tear over the years. So the rear bumper had some scuffs on it. I was gonna leave it. You know, I was just gonna repaint the line here that someone had done, but in the end, we made the decision just to pull it off. This is gonna get repainted like we did on the front. I pulled the Forester piece off here, so this is all banged up. I'm gonna have them smooth that out, just leave it off. Bottom half there is gonna go gloss black. I think that's gonna be a nice contrast to it. Roof rails, these things are faded, so we're gonna pull these off. We're gonna leave these black pieces off of here, but we're gonna pull these off. These are gonna get paint matched. I think the door handle is on that side, but there's one on the front over there. Door handle's peeling, so I'm gonna pull the door handle off there, and whichever other one over there is peeling. Mirrors are coming off to get paint matched. These are gonna go over to our powder coater to go back to looking brand new. Like you said, a lot of little things, just the little things to make it look good. New tires. I told you guys we got new tires to the scene. Trying these new ones out. I was really trying to get what we have on Hyper Blue, which is some ET Streets, but Mickey Thompson didn't make them in the right size. So we got these. These are Mickey Thompson, kind of a street radial style tire. This is their street comp, 245, 45, 17. So I think that'll fit the scene really well. It's gonna look really good. So like I said, right now, Justin's already got a head start on it this morning. He's trying to pull this off. Looks like this side is not going to be fun. So what he's telling me is the bumper bracket back here has some corrosion. You know what that means? That shit's rusty over there. So we're gonna try to get that off. I'll get this rear bumper off. Then you probably won't see too much. I'll probably show you when we get this taken apart. But today, old Morford's coming in for his tune. So you guys will get to see that. Some of you will know Morford by name, some of you will know it by car, but I will explain more when he gets here. I remember this car. Here we are, boys. RA is back in the house. So Morford said he was having a fuel smell, so we pulled out the back seat, check on the hanger. Everything looks good there. I guess he had already pulled it apart once and had a fuel smell. Looks like he has found his issue in the engine bay. The safest spot, right? Right on top of the motor, the leak fuel.
Yeah.
And you haven't fixed it, huh?
Oh, we're fixing it now. I mean, I complained to you a couple times and you're just like, eh.
I thought you were a do-it-yourselfer.
Not with this. This is all beta work.
Let's tighten it down, Tom.
Well, Justin, tighten it up.
I'll wipe it.
Those of you just tuning back in, we did a full build series on this car about a year ago now. I think it was around May. So just shy of a year. Like I said, piston only motor here. Maybe one day you'll get the Stage X balls.
You know, all these guys, they were back order on their parts, or
we did have an issue when we were going to do this. We were going to put rods in it, but literally there was nowhere to get rods at that time. It was right when we were coming out of COVID. Seems like everything had caught up and there was some delays on some parts. He wanted his car back, so we just did a set of Manley forged pistons in here, stock case. It just has my specs in the Shortblock, and then it has stock head bolts, stock head gaskets, stock heads, you name it. It's pretty much a stock long block with the exception of bigger clearances in the motor to handle more power. Obviously a bigger ring gap. Forged pistons, Ranchbuilt turbo kit, Precision 6870. Fuel system's a little bit on the lacking side. It does have a set of ID 1700s. I believe this was 2 Walbro 450s. I don't think we did 2 525s. Are they? Mm-hmm. Two 525s. Stock fuel lines up to the engine bay. Obviously it has an AMS intake manifold. ETS 5-inch front mount. Pretty much the basics that you've seen around here. Just a couple things lacking, but we'll see where things goes today. When we originally tuned this thing, it was pretty much on like a time crunch. I mean, we tuned this thing in a matter of probably a couple pulls on E. I think we did 1 pull on pump gas, and we were trying to leave that night, and things were pretty late. So the last time this was on the dyno, if I had to remember, I think it was around the 720 region Mustang at 38 pounds on a 100% factory engine. We did hurt the factory engine on the dyno. It had broke a Reenland on the dyno. We continued to send it. This thing went to the track. Brand new set of slicks, so short track wasn't really there. I think it cut like a 1.6 60 foot, went a 10.0 at 139, and that was losing the motor at like the 1,000 foot mark. Sent the oil cap right off the motor. So that's where this came. It came back, still ran and drove. Obviously it was down compression. We pulled that apart, and this is a different case in here now. That case had some damage from the Reenland. Assembled it back together, and then you've been driving it ever since. So that catches everyone up to speed.
I just ordered a new filter.
Yeah, that filter is a pretty old.
I don't want to hear it.
I think you needed a new filter a year ago, pal.
Oh, I'm sure.
You've been slacking.
I drove it through winter. I'm not going to put a new one on during winter.
How many miles we got on this motor right now?
Probably 2,500.
Okay, so we got some decent break-in miles. It's been on the same map ever since. He says he doesn't get on it. That's a bold-faced lie. I saw him last night. He was ripping the shit out of this thing. So
not often.
Not often means every other light at a minivan next to him. Yeah, he's the minivan racer. So that's what we're doing today, guys. That's what this is back in here for. I'll show you guys what it's going to make on pump gas. If I remember right, this has a 4-port boost controller on it. It does have a Turbo Smart 45 mil on it, and it's not in a fun spot down there. And I think it's got a pretty large spring. It was like 20 psi, right, Morford, before?
Yeah.
Which I think I'm just going to leave it. We do have a stronger piston now to be able to handle the heat of the pump gas. Obviously we just have to be mindful of the rods today and torque, but outside of that I think we're just going to leave the spring, because changing that spring, I don't want to change that spring. Morford, do you want to change the spring?
No, we know how.
No, it's down there.
Change the springs on the dyno.
This was Ranchbuilt V1. Yeah. This is the V1 turbo kit, and the wastegate not in the most easy spot. It's a one and done deal. It's like you get to it when the motor's out. So we're gonna leave it today. I remember it was around 20 pounds, obviously with the stock engine, and the 6870 on 20 pounds on pump gas. I think this thing was making too much power, but I had to remember, I think it was like 460 Mustang or something like that, and that's just too much on those stock cast pistons on pump gas. So I'm gonna go ahead, redial things in today. That means it is on pump right now. We're gonna do the pump gas, then we're gonna switch tank over to E85. I don't know how far he wants me to go today. It's Morford. He usually just tells me do what I want, but I don't like that, because then that means it comes out of my pocket when you break it.
See, that's the thing. It's the better warranty.
Nah.
It's one of those, hey, I'm down for whatever you want to do, Josh.
25 pounds it is today. That's what we're doing. Get power goal. What do you want?
I'm comfortable where it's at, but I know you're gonna want more, so.
There ain't much more. I can tell you, 38 pounds. I think we were almost at 40 on this thing, and that's pretty much, that's it. If you
what injectors you got laying around?
God, both of you are vultures. He's trying to take them. You're trying to take them. The 1700s are limiting us.
We could take these and use these in your Honda, and you could have two 1700s and maybe the other one.
Damn.
Yeah, he does.
100%.
That's what it is.
Now he needs something. How's it feel to want? These two are gonna battle it out for some injectors. All right. Well, I'm wanting the laptop's charged right now. We're just gonna button this thing up, and then we're gonna get it on the dyno. See where it goes today. If I had to imagine on pump gas, I'll probably end it around like 460 to 480 region on the Mustang. That's just over 500 on Dyno Jet. That's pretty good power. He does drive this thing quite a bit on pump, so keep that in mind. Ethanol, we'll go until we can't. I know the injectors are gonna be limiting. Right around 800 is right when we're gonna lose our ID 1700s there, and that is kind of pushing the limit. So keep in mind, if you're trying to pick injectors, you have an 800 horsepower goal, you're probably gonna want to go with like a 2000 cc or larger injector, but you do kind of lose some drivability, especially on pump gas. So this being a daily driver, we'll stick with the 1700s, and you're just gonna have to make do.
All right, we'll do.
It'll be more power than what you've been ripping it on.
We're gonna do a 5th injector mod.
5th injector. This guy. All right, we got the thing on the dyno. Went ahead for old time's sake, put its track intake on here. And I know, guys, the lighting's gonna be tough. We got the sun coming in, so I apologize for that. It's just that time of the year where you're gonna have that mixture of that. But like I said, old time's sake, this is on the car. This is the old intake we had built back from when we took this thing to the track. So this thing was having an issue where it was idling up and down. Morford, of course, was giving me shit about it. And he's like, we need to retune this thing. You know what it was, guys? One of its fuel pumps was not working. So went ahead, diagnosed what was going on. It actually ended up being the physical wire to the fuse that was bad. You would have never even known. This car has both pumps on all the time, and the only sign of issues was it idling up and down. He didn't notice anything else. It's been like that for quite a while. You'll see I have one just sitting here for now. I will tuck that up more later, but we're gonna go ahead and load the new map on here, and we are gonna start dialing in the new map. So went ahead, got it pulled on. You ready?
Ready. 900
wheel today.
Got that shop car warranty.
Nah, that means we're making fucking 300 wheel today. That's what's happening. So I'm sitting here and I'm doing the drivability on the car. I'm feeling kind of like where it's pulsing down, almost like it has a mist to it. So we're gonna put some new plugs in the car. I did go ahead and do a pull on gate. Seems like everything is clean up top. It did feel like it kind of started to break up a little bit, so definitely gonna do some new plugs in this thing. Right here I got 462, 383. This is just on wastegate pressure. As you can see there, it's just barely touching 22 pounds at the end there. It's coming in around 19 to 20 pounds. 460, it's like 520. Dyno jet right around that spot. But you can hear this thing from the back where it has that pulse. I don't know how well it's picking that up, but it has that kind of dip, a dip, a dip. So we're gonna go ahead and do some new plugs in this thing, especially since it had only one pump on it when it was tuned on 2. That could cause some issues. Obviously, as you guys know, it would make the car lean, and if it was lean, then it could have definitely tried to burn a plug. So just gonna be on the safe side, change the plugs in this thing, and then we'll go ahead and continue from there. But not bad power for wastegate. I'll be able to add some more and kind of lean on it more, but in the end, I'm probably not gonna lean on too much on pump. We'll play around on E more, but once I get these plugs in, I'll update you guys from there. All right, we're gonna leave it there. Made 483, impressive 400 foot-pounds of torque. Just right over 22.5 pounds. It looks like it's touching about 23 at the end. Graph is nice and smooth. That's about the end of it for pump gas. I did see it where it started to have some feedback noise on that knock sensor. So went ahead and cleared that up. Now we're gonna drain the tank, get the scene on E85. Then that's where the fun will actually begin, because it's a little bit too much of a wastegate spring to have fun on pump gas with how underbuilt the motor is. So we're gonna leave the fun for the proper fuel. So let me grab a hose, we'll drain this tank, and then we'll get the show started. Isn't that right, Josh?
Party time.
Party time, I like party time. Not too much party with knowing him here. All right, E85 is in. Went ahead and set my boost target, 26 pounds. Mainly just need to see where our wastegate's gonna be on this, since I didn't get to see very much on pump gas. So we're gonna have to go ahead and start adding some duty into this, see where we're gonna land. Might undershoot my target, might overshoot it a little bit. Well, I'll just have to see. This does have a 4-port on it. Pump gas, I had it at 20% on wastegate duty, which really isn't turning on that controller yet. It's just like right before the cuff. Usually around 30% is where they turn on, so I put it at 35%. We'll see where that gets us. Gonna go ahead and let it warm up here. Looks like we're on about E78, E80 for content, and we'll go ahead and do this rip. See how things go, boys. What do you think it's gonna make for power? I say if it hits our 26 pounds, it's gonna make 540. That's what I'm saying. First pull done. Definitely have to add some fuel there. There's like 13.0 going into it. Then it started to lay down towards the 12.0 region. 583, 495 torque. Beautiful graph. Not a bad first pull. I am gonna back down the timing here right at the peak torque. 500 foot-pounds of torque. Stock rods. You guys know the deal. They're not gonna like it, so I'm gonna back it down. I'm gonna easily pull probably 3 degrees out of that there. We'll see how much that drops our torque. It came pretty much spot on, 26 pounds flat. So I'm definitely happy of that. Getting an idea where the wastegate duty's going. Kind of had an idea anyways. It needed 27% there. I had 35 in it. I always give it an upper table and a lower table that it can pull out. So it came in at 27%. I have a 35 upper, 25 lower, so it fell right in between there. Everything went good, so I'm going to make some adjustments here, add some more fuel to this, pull some timing there right at peak torque, try to keep these stock rods happy, and we'll get this party started. But that's pretty damn good power. 583 Mustang on 26 pounds. I mean, that's pretty spicy. That's like 640 dyno jet. So let's go ahead, clean this up. I'll go ahead and probably move my target up after that. You know what, for the data, I'll do another pull at this same 26 pounds. I'm just gonna pull that timing out of it and show you guys how much that 3 degrees less is gonna affect, and we can kind of add up what each degree is taking out for torque. So let's do that. Alright guys, next pull is done. Car ended up at 565, 471, so not that big of a drop in torque. Still a nice clean graph. This up here is going to be a little bit of fuel related up top, a little rich, or we're going to be dealing with some valve float because I am starting to rev it out. I was like 7,600, and you can see it's laying down and then kind of trying to pick itself back up. You can kind of feel it in there too. But at the end of the day, I pulled out a total of 4 degrees of timing at our peak torque and made about 24 wheel less. That's not bad. So I probably will pull another degree or 2 out of it, to be honest, at peak torque, get it down a little bit more. Fueling looks pretty good, still in the kind of spicier realm. It's around the 12-20 mark. I'm gonna go ahead and richen it up a little bit more. If you'll see here, boost came in at 26.5, fell to 25 at the end. These 4 ports are definitely touchy, so I'll kind of have to play with that a little bit, and we'll see where things go. I'm gonna go ahead and up the boost now that I got everything kind of where I want it, and we're gonna go from the 26 pounds that I'm targeting right now, and we're gonna put the car up to 32. We'll start there, maybe in 34. We'll see where it goes. Boys, old girl didn't want it there. No, it came in at 28 pounds, held 28 completely flat, as I thought. We were going to need more wastegate duty to be able to go up, and when it was there, 607, 487 torque on 28 pounds. That's pretty impressive, guys. That's impressive. So what you're seeing right here, that dip, that happened at right around 76 to 7700. Valves floated. I tried to rev it out, see where we go. Looks like I'm just gonna have to keep the reveler on the old girl at 7500 until we get springs, retainers, or built heads. It's gonna get more stuff down the road. This car's always been a test car for me, so went ahead, tried that. Seemed like the Forester, exact same spot, it floated valve. So that's where it is. Just kind of proves more why I run these cars at 7500 is the max RPM limit. I run them with stock springs, retainers, because you can see right now it valve floated. So I'm gonna make some changes there. Fueling looked good, everything looked good, just needs more wastegate duty to hit our target. But in the end, 600 wheel and 47 torque Mustang, very impressive. Time to clean this up. Just gonna pull the reveler back a little bit and I'll fix that, and we'll keep on going up. Thoroughly impressed with this thing today, guys. That was on 32 pounds, fell down to 31 up top, 644, 519. Very impressed. Still seeing a little bit up here, still getting close to that valve float. That was right at 7600. So I'd probably, like I said, cut it back to 100. It's just where we're gonna have to cut it back. But 644, that is really impressive for where we're at with boost. 32 pounds. Let's do the math. 644 times 1.13, 727, boys. Dyno jet. So not bad, pretty spot on if you ask me. 32 pounds, 730 wheel, 6870, right on target. So gonna go ahead, clean up the map. Everything looks good, fueling looks good. 32 pound map's done. I'm gonna go ahead. 38 is the next one, boys. Let's get this party started. Let's see if we can get back into the 700s. This car was. It was 38 or 40 pounds back when it made 720 on the stock motor. This is just a piston motor as well, guys. So keep that in mind. I'm still dealing with stock rods, stock case, not a closed deck, stock heads. I'm still dealing with the same stuff. The only advantage I have right now is I have my own custom clearances in the short block, and then I have a forged piston, so that does obviously help. So let's go ahead and see what we can do now on the next one, and then we'll make the decision if we're gonna go any further tonight. All right, guys, went ahead and bumped it up. 38 pounds the target. We'll see if it's gonna stay right around there. Let's go ahead and see what we make for some power. Boys, 38 pounds, thing's ripping. 721 and 583 torque. Nice, beautiful graph, keeps going straight up. Boost is beautiful. I think that's a pretty solid spot for this thing. 721, that's a fast car. That's 800 wheel, baby. Stock rods, almost 600 torque. Ooh. And we do the coolant check, it's still good. That's my girl right here. She only got that on there, but 6870, doing work. AMS, really shining through like always. Pretty happy there. Go ahead and take a look at the log, check the fueling, but probably where we're gonna stop. Josh, are we going further?
No.
This is the disclaimer. Come on, this is on you now.
We're good now.
Okay, let me look over this log real quick. You heard the man. Motherfucking street hit next. All right, I know you guys have been waiting for the Forester drive, which we'll get to that eventually. But today, since we tuned old RA, you never got to feel it ever before. I had to send her to the moon.
The one hit wonder.
One hit wonder. 10-0 at 139. Lost the motor, and then he claims he's never hit it in Sport Sharp ever before, but I guarantee his ass has.
Not on one fuel pump.
Yeah, true. That one fuel pump wasn't helping. All right, well, we're gonna get out here. We'll have the lights on like this so you guys can see, but I'm gonna make him hold this on his reaction. So let's get out to somewhere safe, do a pull. This would be the fastest thing you ever rode in, besides I guess our Evo back in the day. Well, that was a whole different kind of car. And yeah, Hyperblue, but that's been a while, so he hasn't ruined them right now. That was like 3 years ago. That was quite a while ago. So we're getting out to where it's safe. Your very first feeling. Excited?
Yeah.
Happy with it?
Oh yeah. I love this car.
We're gonna do a little, probably 2, 3, and the 4 for a nice straight area here. I don't think you're ready. All right, here we go.
She pulls.
Feels really good. 68 definitely wants more RPM, but I physically just can't give it any more on here. So for what we got, what do you think?
We'll start building the motor. We'll get the more revs out, but it feels good.
Yeah, we definitely need a closed deck and a built motor. You know, one with rods would be nice, and build some heads too, so we can rev it out further. Because we have the turbo, we just don't have necessarily the biggest power band. You know, we have a power band from about 58 to 75, so definitely a pretty short power band. You got to be a driver, but I'd say the car feels really good tipping into it. I'd say she's pretty good there.
Just breaking them loose.
Yeah. That will be tame to her. What do you think?
I like it.
You happy?
Oh yeah.
You got 3 maps. So I told him he's got 26 pounds, which made 560 on the Mustang, and that's on the lower map. Then he has a middle range map that is 645 or 650 on 32 pounds, and then he has his hot map, which obviously is 38 pounds, but drives like stock.
Yeah. It's smooth too. It's real smooth.
Definitely, I think a lot better chance that we got the last time when we were rushed at tuning the car. We never even got to do this
Right.
right around. So now, being able to drive it and feel it, I'll let you drive it back, let you see the drivability. You can tip into it if you want, and that'll be it.
Cool.
Then we'll start saving for the build mode. We'll do the musical chairs here. We're in the middle of nowhere anyway, so we'll just stop.
Yeah.
There she is. Bam. We made it back.
I can tell you right
Pretty
here.
good. Oh, how many miles are at?
Yeah, 3683.
3,600 miles on the old baby girl. And one thing I didn't tell you guys, this does have a Radium dual hanger, dual Walbro 450s, another stock fuel line car, guys. 814 wheel dyno jet, 92% injector duty cycle on this thing, so there is some room to go, but you know, in the realm you want to be in the 80s. But we're here, we're making power. She's alive. She's idling normal now.
Yep.
No more weird idle shit going on. It's weird what can happen with one fuel pump and not 2.
Hey,
your car's
like you
tuned
said,
for
you've
2.
never even seen that before either.
No, I really have never seen that before. Literally the wire from the battery to the fuse holder just wouldn't conduct at all, period. There was no electricity going through the wire, not any volts. So it was pretty crazy to see that.
Yeah.
So now we got a new one on there. Now you know if this shit starts idling up and down, you better be checking fuses.
Hey.
Maybe unplug one every once in a while just to check.
Right, not a bad idea for you guys to unplug one and at the fuse and make sure your pumps are still working.
We were talking about like something we could design and make to where you would know both pumps are on, you know, like some simple, like something that had LEDs on it. But I mean, you got to think of scenarios like that there physically really wouldn't be a way to tell what was going on, other than obviously it didn't have power at the pump. But what if the pump physically didn't work and you had power at the pump? That'd be a hard scenario to test. So it's one of those things, you know, it's the risk of running 2 fuel pumps at the end of the day. You know, you see it more common anymore, and you, God forbid, a pump doesn't fail or a hop switch doesn't fail, but things happen. That's just the honest side of it.
Hey, maybe every oil change, check your fuse to each fuel pump and make sure they both prime on.
Just check it. But there we are, guys. It's gonna wrap it up. Hopefully you enjoyed. Pretty in-depth day. Probably quite a bit of content for you guys. Old girl's still making her power. That's a fast car right there. It definitely wants more RPM. It definitely would benefit by having a closed deck and some built heads in the future. But for now, he's enjoying his little piston only motor.
We're gonna have to find some new mufflers.
The pistons in there going, woo!
Yes.
I'm ready. Rods are like, nah, bud. I'm hanging on for dear life. So that's gonna wrap it up, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Life, though you lemons, you just put them in Coronas, Coronas, Coronas. I've been working, I need that advance with the bonus, the bonus, the bonus. Ain't no thoughts about tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment, the moment, the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash, bitch, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, fast lane. Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. Life up in the fast lane, fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground.